Then please let me take them. And he said no, he didn't have time because they were in car seats and it was going to take time for me to get them out of the car seat. And he just told me, he said, but I won't hurt them. And he just took off. But he had a gun, and my big thing is they were screaming, hollering, crying, and I'm just scared that he just lost his patience or something. You know?
I plead to the guy, to the man, me and my wife plead to him to please return our children to us safely and unharmed. We love our children very much, and we want them returned to us safe and sound.
Union County, South Carolina is home to 27,244 people, and before the Civil War, Union County was known for its widespread cotton plantations. And once slavery was abolished in the United States, the major industry in the town transitioned from cotton farming to textile fabrication. The townspeople of Union County are known for their honesty and hospitality, and the woman we're going to be talking about today took advantage of that. She spun multiple lies, appeared on local television, and broke bonds between people in the community, all in the effort to hide her gruesome acts against two innocent people. Born on September 26, 1971, in Union, South Carolina, Susan Smith was the youngest of 3 children and the only girl. Unfortunately, 6 years later, her father committed suicide. This greatly affected Susan, and the only way that she could cope with her father's death is by adding to his coin collection and listening to one audio recording of him before he passed. After that, she had to get used to living in a single-parent household, but when she was 13, her mother married a man named Beverly Russell, a member of the local chapter of the Christian Coalition, who would later admit to assaulting Susan consistently at the age of 16. Susan told her high school guidance counselor and her mother about the abuse in 1987 when she was 16. Her mother confronted her stepfather about it, and he swore to never do it again and agreed to family therapy. That was a lie. He would continue to abuse Susan all the way through her teenage years, and this abuse affected her greatly. She would make 2 attempts on her life, once during her high school year and one immediately after she graduated. These 2 attempts on her life led to her having mandatory therapy. And in 1989, Susan told her psychologist that her affair with her stepfather was consensual. Susan said she wasn't happy about her mother receiving all of the male attention, so she sought out a relationship with her stepfather. Fortunately, Susan would find a relationship that was more healthy, with David Smith. After dating for a short while, they would get married and have 2 children together. But over time, their relationship would become rocky. They would mutually claim that they were cheating on each other, and they had separated multiple times during their marriage, but never officially divorced. During the relationship, there really wasn't any evidence of David cheating on Susan, but Susan definitely was cheating on David. One of Susan's most prominent affairs was with her boss at the department store she was working at. He was 27 years old and very well off. Unfortunately for Susan, he didn't want to be a father. He wrote a letter to her saying that he wasn't ready to become a parent and wanted to cut things off. Things became even more messy when Susan claimed that she was cheating on her boss with her stepfather. She had continued their relationship even though she was already having an affair with her boss. With that information being out, Susan began spiraling. She was afraid that that information would get out into the community and people would be disturbed that she was having a sexual relationship with her stepfather. So she packed up her things very quickly and placed her 2 children in the backseat of her 1990 Mazda. And from there, both David and her boss didn't hear from her for a few hours. She would come back home with no car and a terrifying story.
Take them. And he said no, he didn't have time because they were in car seats and it was going to take time for me to get them out of the car seat. And he just told me, he said, but I won't hurt them. And he just took off. But he had a gun, and my big thing is they were screaming, hollering, crying, and I'm just scared that he just lost his patience or something. You know?
I plead to the guy, to the man, me and my wife plead to him to please return our children to us safely and unharmed. We love our children very much, and we want them returned to us safe and sound.
Pray even now for their safe return.
Thank you.
Was last seen wearing a red and white striped outfit and a blue and red coat.
In an investigation where the suspect is unknown, where you don't know where he's liable to turn up, there's not a lot more than you can do is take the complaints, follow up on them, develop your leads, develop your suspects, and rule them out one at a time. It's slow moving, I have to apologize. There's nothing more that can be done for that. But like I say, it's a classic investigation that could not be run any different anywhere else.
I want to say to my baby that your mama loves you so much, and your daddy and his whole families love you so much. And you guys have got to be strong, because you are, I just know, I just feel in my heart that you're okay, but you got to take care of each other.
On October 25th, 1994, Susan reported to the police that her vehicle had been carjacked by a black man who drove away with her son still inside. Susan made multiple pleas for her children to be returned, both on local and national television. She described in great detail the black man who stole her car and kidnapped her children, and for 9 days straight, she kept this story.
Susan, yesterday I know authorities searched your house inside, outside, underneath. Were you there at the time, and do you know what they were looking for?
No, ma'am, I was not there, and I do not know. I did agree, sign a form for them to do that. I was aware they were going to do that, and I understand that's just one of the normalities they have to do in any investigation.
Sources close to the investigation, Susan, have told NBC News that federal agents are focusing, in fact, on the relationship between you and Mitchell Sinclair, the man that you were going to visit that night, the man you said you were going to visit with your children. They've told NBC that there were inconsistencies in your stories. Do you know what inconsistencies they were referring to?
No, ma'am, I really do not know that, but
It wouldn't take long for the American public and police officers to begin poking holes in her story. Not to mention her odd behavior on national television led people to think that in some way she was involved. Following a detailed and intensive investigation and a nationwide search for both of her children, she confessed on November 3rd, 1994.
Susan Smith has been arrested and will be charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of her children, Michael 3 and Alexander 14 months.
She had pushed her car with her 2 children strapped inside into the John D. Long Lake. The children drowned almost instantly, and the car remained in the lake for 9 days. Her motivations were clear. She wanted to not have children so she could be with her boss. She even wrote a letter to him saying that she didn't want children and she wasn't a murderer. She just wasn't in the right state of mind and acted erratically.
she needs a psychiatrist. She needs something worse than that. I've never heard anything like this. This is the worst way that Union County could ever be brought on the news. It hurts to know that somebody would do that to a young baby.
They're all murder anyway.
Later investigation revealed that detectives doubted Smith's story from the start and believed that she murdered her sons. By the second day of the investigation, the police suspected that she knew their location and hoped that they were still alive. Investigators began their search in nearby lakes and ponds, including John D. Long Lake, where the car was found 122 feet from the shore. The biggest breakthrough of the case was her description of the carjacking location. She had claimed that a traffic light had turned red, causing her to stop at an otherwise empty intersection. However, it was determined that the light would not have turned red unless her vehicle was present on the intersecting road. This directly conflicted with her initial statement that she didn't see any other cars there when the carjacking took place. When the trial began, Susan's defense attorney argued that her actions were rooted in mental illness spurred by the suicide of her father, physical abuse by her stepfather, and emotional rejections. The lead prosecutor painted a very different picture. He claimed Smith was a murderous manipulator who killed her children in order to regain her boss's affections for her. She ended her sons' lives for money. She wanted to just be with a rich man. The jury deliberated for 2 hours, and they quickly found her guilty and convicted her of 2 counts of first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to life in prison.
Some folks in the black community tonight tell me that there will be much healing to be done here, and it's going to take quite a while. Let's listen now to some folks, both black and white, how they feel that this healing will take place here in Union County.
They're always accusing black people of doing things that they do themselves.
Anytime you say black man and white woman, it's all over. over. You know, I mean, that's my opinion. Anytime you say a black man, that's it. And that's why a lot of us are single now. All of our men are locked up. Some of them are innocent.
She wouldn't have testified that she done it. They still would be looking for this suspect. And she could, you know, have got away with it.
The reaction to this crime was pretty visceral. The black community of Union County felt that this crime put a spotlight on the racism of their town. Many went on to mention how it was very disconcerting that the first thing that came to Susan Smith's mind in order to avoid this crime is to pin it on a black man. And this conversation is still being had. Anytime people talk about Susan Smith's crime, they ultimately talk about the racial undertones that color it. So I want to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on this crime? Feel free to share them in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to see what you guys think. Hello everyone, how's it going? I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, let me know in the comments down below, and leave a like if you liked the video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, fam. What you doing? Watch videos and not subscribe, and if you're old, make sure you hit that bell so you get these notifications every time. If you haven't heard it already, there is a second channel, Ailurus After Hours, where content like this is the whole theme. Dark history, true crime, scary stories, tragic events, all of it. If you are interested in that and you want more content like this and you want a channel exclusive to that, go ahead and check it out. Ailurus After Hours, link in the description and in the pinned comment. The first video will drop on Saturday. Well, the first two videos are going to drop on Saturday, so go ahead and look forward to that if you're interested in spooky, serious true crime content. If that's your thing, go ahead and check it out. Subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead and subscribe. Do it. And as always, we gotta thank the Patreon supporters that make content like this possible. A big thank you to A Screaming Cloaker, Unikitty, Carter Not Steve, The Fake Musician, Lightstar, Red Pyramid Thing, Buckethead, Samantha Bellhart, Admin, AV8B Harrier 2 Plus, Swag Daddy 69, Zach F, Darth Titan, Fafnir Stuff, Keely, Dunder Has Hawk, Caroline Banana, Spiritus Kitsune, Soup, Viva LaRue, Julian, Benny's Big Bean Burrito, Knobs, Lady Laughs a Lot, Swiss Patreon user, Muffy Lou Who, Noah, John, and Catherine Taylor. Thank you so much for your support. It is greatly appreciated. If you want to help support the channel, there's two links in the description, one in my merch store and one in my Patreon. Both funds directly into the channel so we can maintain what's happening here. And as always, stay zesty.